What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be reacting to this video by Mystic about how removing skin rarity was Fortnite's biggest mistake. Obviously, that title is hyperbole like most YouTube titles. But yeah, a lot of people make a big deal about this. I personally do not think it's that big of a deal. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But I feel like ever since it's been removed, we've been seeing people complain about it, and it's just very surprising to me, because it seems like people would rather discuss the locker UI than like the actual gameplay. So let me know what you guys think, or if this is an issue you care about. And Mystic's channel and video will be linked down in the description below.
The locker system in
Look at how the old locker looked, though. This is like early chapter 1 locker. Like it's gone over several different versions. Renegade Raider is blue rarity. You see this? Right here where my mouse is. Can you guys see the mouse when I'm recording? Renegade Raider is blue rarity. Keep that in mind for later on. That's one of the most rare skins in the game.
Fortnite used to be one of the best handled things in Fortnite. Whenever you used to go into your locker, you could clearly see where everything was, and everything was laid out perfectly. You knew where your skin was, where your back bling was, your pickaxe.
This setup for everything is a lot smoother than what we have in chapter 5. I will agree with that 100%.
Your glider, your contrail. It was all just nice and neat. But now it seems Fortnite wants to go a messy direction.
This screen, I feel like, is mostly the same as it had been for several seasons. They did remove rarity, but what is just terrible in chapter 5 is the screen prior to this.
Over the years, we've had many different locker changes, some for the better and some for the worse. And while I can sit here and admit that the locker that we have right now is...
This screen is just terrible. Like, I feel like the old one was better. It's okay, I guess, but like sometimes I end up like scrolling through here and it's just like, it's rough.
Terrible, and I seriously mean it. It's terrible. I will admit that there's been some great changes to it over the years, but that's not what this video is going to be about. No, because today we're going to talk about how utterly terrible this locker system is. And I'm going to explain why to you and how this is not okay. And so without further ado, let's get straight into it. One big thing that used to unify any locker system implemented into Fortnite whenever they made an update to it was the rarity. The rarity in Fortnite always was consistent. You had legendary. This was the highest tier rarity for any skin. Any skin that was 1,800 V-Bucks or above was a legendary skin. And it displayed a golden sort of orangey background behind that skin's icon. And back then, the locker was incredibly good at this. Anytime you purchased a skin from the item shop, regardless of however many V-Bucks you spent, Fortnite did a really good job at categorizing your skins from legendary.
In the early days, it made absolutely no sense. Eventually, they kind of made it to where like green skins typically didn't come with a back bling, but I think anything higher than blue did, or maybe blue came with a back bling in some instances. That's this here. So they would add other items to kind of justify the price. But the rarity system was never actual rarity. And that's why I talked about Renegade Raider at the start. That was a blue skin. There's legendary skins that have been in the shop a vast amount of times, more than Renegade Raider has. The rarity was just price. It had nothing to do with how frequently it occurred in the shop.
To uncommon. And so you had these rarities from legendary, epic, rare, and uncommon, and even bonus rarities like the Marvel, DC, or Star Wars rarities. Whenever you decided to pick a skin or a back bling from your locker, you'd see how beautiful it looked. The colorway from going to this goldenish color.
I feel like this is such a stretch. Like this never entered my mind, to be honest. Like I was never buying a skin and then was like, it's kind of a mid skin, but it'll have a gold background in my locker, so that's why I need to get this one. Like that just never contributed to how I feel about anything.
And moving all the way down to your greens. It was completely organized, and a lot of us knew where everything was because of this system. Fortnite never tampered with this system for a very long time, and it made it super convenient to find the skin wherever you wanted to find it. Anytime they added an extra series like the Frozen series or Lava series, Slurp series, the Rarity made these cosmetics stay in place. And so anytime you buy something from the shop or unlock anything through a battle pass or gain it for free, you know exactly where to find it in your locker. Now let me tell you the problem with the locker now. We don't have Rarity. Fortnite, are you kidding? We don't have Rarity? On some day in Chapter 5, Season 2, one of my least favorite seasons.
He says this is one of his least favorite seasons. We'll come back to that later on.
Seasons of Fortnite, and I wonder why Fortnite made the most amazing decision to date to remove cosmetic Rarity. Wow, Fortnite, I really have to hand it to you. That was a change we needed for so long. Definitely everyone asked for that. Oh wait, I'm sorry. No one asked for that.
It very much is a, like, if it's not broke, don't fix it type thing, right? Like, I don't know why they did this. It doesn't make sense to me. But it's also not an issue that is, like, ruining the game for me or something I really think about months later, or something that's going to be like, oh, I feel like this is one of my least favorite seasons ever because it changed skin rarity. Like, how I feel about the game is just, like, hugely determined by, like, the gameplay of the season itself. Like, what the map is like, what the new weapons are like, what the meta is like, how it feels to play the game, not how the menus or the UI looks.
Why? Why, Fortnite? Why did you remove cosmetic Rarity?
This is
The
months ago.
consequences that this has done has forever reshaped the way how the community views Fortnite cosmetics in-game. Rarity was such an integral part in Fortnite. Turning everything to a bland-like state does not look nice for the naked eye. No one wants.
Again, I agree it doesn't look better. There's this argument that people have that it makes it harder to find things in your locker. And I think that's definitely true if you're someone who's been playing the game for years and you're used to that layout and you're used to being like, okay, this is a legendary skin, I'm going to go to the top. And that's where it is. And so when they did change it, like, I archived a lot of skins that I don't use often because I didn't know where my skins were. But I think the default after they got rid of Rarity was just alphabetical order. And, like, if you detach yourself from this situation, if you're not, like, just don't think of yourself as a Fortnite player, I think organizing things in alphabetical order makes a lot of sense. Like, that's how a lot of things are organized, right? Like, that's a pretty natural way for things to be organized. And so if you're someone who's never played Fortnite before, things being organized alphabetically probably makes more sense than skin rarity. It's like, the struggle is a lot of people don't know the names of the skins off the top of their head or, like, exactly what it's called, but they would know the color. Even back then, it was organized by rarity and then alphabetically within the rarity. So, like, gold would be at the top, starting with the, like, first letter in the alphabet gold skin you have, going down to, like, the last letter in the alphabet gold skin you have. So, like, the alphabetical order has always been a component, and it definitely made things awkward, like I said, but it's like, is this issue really worth complaining about months later? Like, I feel like you just kind of get used to knowing where things are in your locker again, and then, like, you're good to go.
To go to their locker and see a bunch of random skins next to each other. It doesn't help that they also switched around the way and the order in which skins would appear. Because cosmetic rarity is gone, all skins are now just in alphabetical order, which I guess is fine if you're looking for a skin and you know the name of it. But Fortnite, what happens if you don't know the name of the skin?
What happened if you didn't know the rarity of it before? Because I feel like it's something that a lot of people didn't think about. The only reason I know the rarity of some of these skins is because they were at the top of my locker, and then like, I got used to them being there, so I know they're a gold skin, you know?
Rarity made that easy for people. It allowed people who didn't know the name of the skin, who might have remembered the rarity of it, to find it in their lockers. Not to mention, it just looked way.
I feel like this is also mostly an issue if you've been playing the game for, like, an absurd amount of time and have thousands of skins. Like, I don't know how many skins the average player has, but especially newer players don't have that many, so it's probably not that big of a deal for them.
Nicer. The colors back then, some of the best colors that they chose for the game, and for these cosmetics are all now gone. Now these colors had revamped throughout the years, changing them slightly, maybe a different shade or starting to include new animations for them. These were all great changes. But then all of a sudden, you decided to throw all of that away. Everything you've built throughout the years for this system just tossed aside. Of course, when this change was implemented, not a lot of people liked it. I mean, of course, people who built stacked lockers throughout the years.
I feel like this locker was like the best to find things because it had so many things in one row. This is like very, 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 very early days.
Coming back and looking at whatever this atrocious.
This, I think, looks higher quality though. Like, again, detach yourself from how you feel about Fortnite. I feel like this screen looks significantly higher quality than this screen. Even though I do think this one is better for like me to find what I want to use, I think that other one is higher quality.
Throughout the years, coming back and looking at whatever this atrocious new style is would just not sit
Like
right
you can see the skin so much better on the new one.
With anyone.
Which I think most people, if they're looking for a skin, they're going to be looking for the picture of the skin and not like, oh, gold background.
The problem with Rarity being
You're looking for the bits, Yuza?
gone isn't just, oh, it looked better. Even though it definitely looked better, it's also just familiarity with the game. It's what made Fortnite.
I agree with this to an extent, but if you are somebody outside of the game or someone who doesn't play the game very much, I feel like that familiarity isn't built into alphabetical order. Probably is the most natural way to organize things. Like that, I guess that's my problem with like a lot of the people that complain about this. They act like alphabetical order is such like an outlandish way to organize things, and that like the Rarity was the most simple and like best. And it's like, I think if you're already within the system and you're used to it for years and you're used to things being a certain way, for sure. But like, I just don't think it's that big of a deal, and I don't think it's like game ruining like some people make it out to be.
In the very beginning, we've had cosmetic rarity since day one, and
Cap, there wasn't even skins day one, but that's just nitpicky.
you just take that out entirely, Fortnite. You lose that familiarity with your community. And it's not like the system looked better or felt better. It genuinely was better. There's a reason why game corporations have cosmetic rarity into their game.
I'm not familiar. Okay, this is Rainbow Six
There's
Siege.
some sort of sense in collecting.
The reason why a game like this makes a lot of sense and why rarity would be integral to the items is because my understanding of this is that this is a loot box. And so you're going to open this loot box and then receive random rewards. And so the higher rarity items are probably less frequent to occur from the loot boxes, right? And so if you get a gold item, that's crazy. However, a gold skin in Fortnite does not affect how frequently it occurs in the shop. It just affects the price. And you pay for what you get. So like rarity in this would be integral and make a lot of sense, but in Fortnite I really don't think it was integral. It just determines the price.
Something that's
Which
a higher
we'll get to later on.
Rarity or more expensive than something else. If you just have these random skins in the item shop for random prices, but no rarity attached to it, you lose that collector's value for.
Hold on. I want to see an emote.
But no rarity attached to it, you lose that
Oh my god, how much are these Billie Eilish emotes?
random prices, but no
I think they're
rarity
500, right?
attached to it, you lose that
Okay, these emotes are 500. Keep that in mind.
collector's value for people. And it's so confusing because I feel like Fortnite would want to make more money, but because you took out rarity, you're actually losing on a whole bunch of sales. Many creators like Pizzo and iTalk now are completely neglecting cosmetics in the shop because of this change. And
Okay, so some creators are refusing to buy things in the shop because of this change. I don't think that reflects the vast majority of players, and I don't think... Okay, so this would have been a blue skin. Let's say you're somebody who likes this skin, you're about to go buy it. You're happy with purchasing this, and then you click on it, and you're like, wait, it doesn't have the blue background. I guess I won't buy it. Like, I don't think this affects, like, the vast majority's people desire to purchase things at all.
another change that I'll talk about briefly right now. Now, this doesn't have to do much with the locker, but more the item shop. You're charging skins for a lot more now. That's no surprise. And because
This is why I said to remember the cost of things. I do not think they're charging more. So these collab skins are 2,000. This in the past would be legendary. The early days of Fortnite, what was a legendary skin or a 2,000 V-Bucks skin, I feel like the bar for that was much lower back then. It felt like more skins were legendary back in the day. And as time went on, they started introducing less and less legendary skins. And at this point, I feel like the only skins that are 2,000 V-Bucks are collab skins, right? And then also, the value of certain skins was also increased over time. Like the ski skins, they were recently in the shop. It's a purple rarity, so it's 1,500. And each country was its own skin. So like if you wanted the Germany one and the Canada one, you had to buy each separately. Later down the line, I think season 4, so it's only a few seasons later, they introduced the soccer skins, which were 1,200 V-Bucks, and each country was its own edit style. And there's a lot of skins like that back in the day. Like the ski skins, I feel like are the best example, where like this is just clearly something that was more expensive because of when it was released. So I feel like over time, the value add for skins, the prices have gone down in a way because there's less legendary skins, or a skin that would be blue or purple. Like I think Gold Trooper is a purple skin. So it's 1,500 V-Bucks. When they released the male counterpart, he was 800 V-Bucks. Skull Trooper, I think was, or maybe it was the other way around. I think Skull Trooper was also 1,500, and then the female version that came later was 1,200. There's been a lot of skins that they've done kind of like remakes of, and typically the remake was like a cheaper. And like I was saying, there was less legendary skins occurring, and more skins that would have been sold separately in the very early days that eventually just became one skin with like a bunch of edit styles. So I feel like the idea that like prices have like gone up because they removed rarity is just not true at all. And then also the Billie Eilish emotes were 500. This emote here is 500. I think emotes, like regular Fortnite emotes, were like 800. Like I recently bought the intensity emote, and I'm pretty sure that's an 800 V-Buck emote. So rarity was removed, but it's not like these emotes are like 1,200 now. Like the emotes are actually typically cheaper than they were in the past, and I think higher quality.
because you're doing that, that's gonna make people angry. And Fortnite, you know better. You know that's gonna
Like, I don't know the prices of like,
make people angry.
pickaxes. Was this 500? Probably 500. But this is like a newer emote. Like a lot of the old emotes were more expensive, and a lot of the old cosmetics were more expensive.
As I mentioned, people have stopped collecting every single cosmetic in the game.
Wait, was Stoneheart there? I think Stoneheart is 1,200, and the Love Ranger was 2,000, and Stoneheart was like the female version of Love Ranger.
People angry. As I
Wait, was this purple?
make people angry. And Fortnite, you know better.
I don't know what Rarity Arctic Assassin is, but I feel like that would be an 800 V-Buck skin today if it came out new. But back then it was probably 1,200 or 1,500.
You know that's gonna make people angry. As I mentioned, people have stopped collecting every single cosmetic in the game, or just most cosmetics in general.
So people have stopped collecting cosmetics because of rarity removal? Maybe, but again, I feel like that reflects a very small percentage of players.
Because of this change, some skins come out into the item shop that have no back bling or nothing to warrant that hefty price tag anymore. And with cosmetic rarity gone, there's no angle that we can look at the skin to justify its price point. I know I talked about this on the channel a lot, but this, combined with the locker looking like garbage, just makes Fortnite lose so much more money than they could be making. And again, Fortnite, you want to make money, not lose it. Now, maybe there can be an argument made as to why Fortnite decided to remove rarity. Maybe as they started collabing with more and more IPs, they didn't want to put a higher rarity above something else.
I feel like even when we had rarities, there was bundles. So there's like the Marvel rarity is above legendary. So like, I don't, and whatever.
Example, we're gonna be getting a Disney collab with The Incredibles. Maybe they don't want to make those skins legendary, or make skins like the Pirates of the Caribbean lesser than maybe something else in the game that's worth 2,000 V-Bucks. They just maybe don't want that stigma of something's a higher rarity than something else because Fortnite decided that.
The reason why Fortnite did this is because, well, what they said they did it was they didn't want the game tied to like outdated BR systems, because Fortnite is more than just BR. So if you're someone who loves rocket racing or Lego, the battle royale weapon rarity might not be as natural to you, because you're not playing battle royale, you're playing like, you know, festival rocket racing, whatever. And with Fortnite being this metaverse game, having the core cosmetic system tied to battle royale didn't make sense for the future of the game. I don't really agree with that. Like, I don't think it's a big deal one way or the other, but that's kind of my standpoint, is I just do not think this is a big deal to the point where like we need to be discussing it months later. And if you guys are active within the Fortnite community, like online, this is something that people have kind of just been like perma complaining about ever since it happened.
And I guess maybe it wouldn't be fair for the companies that they're collabing with to have their skin lower or higher than someone else's. But Fortnite, here is the most big brain idea that you can implement. You can just make a new rarity for these collab skins.
Which they've done.
If that's the issue, you can just make any new Disney skin or any pre-existing Disney skin their own Disney rarity. You've done this in the past with Marvel and Star Wars.
That's why I don't think this is the reasoning, because they've already done this before. Like, maybe they thought like, okay, the end result is that there's going to be a million different like types of I don't know, but like, yeah, they've already done this, so I don't think that's the reason.
And DC, I feel like that's the sort of argument that you really can't make. And I think the real reason why Fortnite decided to remove rarity is to charge more for their cosmetics.
I kind of already talked about this. I don't think that's the case. Maybe years down the line, we'll see the price of things increase, but I feel like typically things are a better value now than they were in the early days. And I believe V-Bucks are cheaper to buy as well than they were in the early days. I know they like decreased prices and then increased prices, but I think the cost of V-Bucks now is still currently lower than it was in the early days. And I just don't think they're charging more for skins when there's typically less legendary skins than there were back in the day, or like the edit styles like I was talking about before.
That's the bottom line, because ever since this happened, you notice how emotes started to slowly increase in prices. And the only rarity that they
like, the old emotes were 800 V-Bucks. And now I feel like, I could just be wrong because I don't pay like the most attention to the shop. I feel like emotes are typically 500 V-Bucks now.
Decided to keep...
And this isn't a recent change. It's been like that for years. Like my point is that like the early, like first few seasons of the game, the cost of things was so much higher than it is now.
For things like this is the Icon series, where you know that's going to be a 300 to 500 V-Buck emote. They're being shady and they're trying to do
which is cheaper than how much regular Fortnite emotes were back in the day.
This on purpose to confuse the players, but you're not fooling anyone. And if no one says something about this now and express our concerns, they're never going to change this. Now, that was a lot for one part of the locker as a whole. I guess I'll call it quits for today's video, but in the next one, we're going to be talking more and more about the locker system. So
okay, so that's the video, I think.
Think of this as a part 1, and next video will be a part 2. Anyways, that's going to be it. Overall, Rarity just needs to make a comeback already. I don't care what anyone else says, it's clear that the player base still doesn't like it. And why do we have to suffer a change that Fortnite makes that clearly no one likes? When you mention that you're gonna eventually fix the locker system...
So I feel like this is something that a huge vocal minority of players care about. I feel like the average player playing the game, their concerns are about the gameplay. And my personal opinion, no offense to Mystic, I don't know them well at all, but I feel like there's a lot of like news sources or big creators in the Fortnite community who got into the game because it was very popular, and they don't really care about playing a PvP battle royale game. And that's why their primary concern with the game is like the UI, the locker UI, or the metaverse in some way. Like, I feel like if you're actually someone who plays the game, let's say you get on for 2 hours to play, how much of that 2 hours are you spending in the locker? probably less than 5 minutes combined, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but like the vast majority of my time in game is spent playing the game, not the locker. So like the locker is not going to have this overwhelmingly massive impact on like my opinion of the game. The gameplay is what's going to like determine that. But that's just kind of how I feel about this. Again, I don't like the way it is now. Like, I feel like if it's not broke, don't fix it. But I also feel like this isn't like this massive like problem that's gonna ruin the game. Like, it is what it is. I just want to like play the game. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. His channel will be linked. Please don't roast him too much. Like I said, I mostly disagreed with a lot of his points, but there are a lot of people out there who agree with him as well. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.